Alright, just wanted to show off my modifications for the Spirit Halloween Ghostbuster items. I also have the PKE meter, but I haven't done anything with that. I'm just going to show the things I've actually done things with right now. I'm going to start off with the Ecto goggles. First and foremost, I gave them a repaint, weathered them up a little bit, added some dirt. Really want to make it look like I've been busting for a while. And been too busy to properly clean things. I think it came out pretty well. One of the things I did is I drilled out the rivet and put in a snap instead. So now I can pop that off and take this entire strap off if I need to. It makes it a lot easier to work with, especially if you're going to do painting or whatever. Also added some leather there, and this little slider piece right here makes it a little bit more screen accurate. It's not going to be perfect, but at this price point, who can complain, right? I think all in all, I'm very happy with how things came out. Also added that screw there because I was watching the film with my daughter. She actually chose it, so that was awesome. And was noticing that when Ray's wearing these, there is the little knob right down here, so I added a little screw in there to simulate that, and I think it came out pretty good. Alright, moving on. Let me get that out of the way. We're going to move on to the trap next. Got very lucky with these two items. Real quick, I just want to mention this. Spirit Halloween, it's the very last day. Everything was already half priced. These were the floor models as well. So this I got for $25. I shit you not. I was super happy to get that at $25, and they gave me the trap for $20. You know, add tax, about $55 for everything. Very happy with it. That price point just cannot be beat. Okay, the first and most obvious thing is I've added a cord, because everybody that's got one of these knows it doesn't come with a cord. Now this is not functioning. I would love to make it a functioning cord, but it's really hard to find any kind of tutorial, and I'm not really good with servos or wiring. I mean, I can do basic wiring, but I'm not a whiz on this stuff. This is a lot of just messing around and learning, actually. Another thing I did was, oops, that over. I haven't made a pedal yet, but eventually I will. One of the things I did is I took out the original power button, drilled that out, added a toggle switch. Now that's basic wiring, nothing hard there. Another thing I did was add in this indicator light right here. That does not come on the trap, and I cut this out of a sheet metal that was black, and I gave it a nice little weathered look when I sanded some stuff down, added screws. Makes it a little more screen accurate. Weathered and recolored the trap. Try and make everything just look that much better. It's not perfect, but at $20, I'm not complaining. My next thing will be to add smoke for when I open that. Smoke will come out. That's relatively easy to do, so I'm not thinking that's going to be too much trouble for me, but I've yet to do it. Another thing I did, and this is just personally for me, I've got this metal hook thing that I can slide onto the belt, and this, I added this link. It's basically a link to a chain, really. Add that on because it slides right onto the metal hook perfectly, and I can just hold it off the belt, no problems whatsoever. Really easy to put on and take off. So that was more of a personal thing. Since I had it, I figured I'd just make it easier on myself to deal with. Alright. Now we're going to get to the big boy, the Proton Pack. Obviously, added an nail spring. I mean, everybody knows you got to have a nail spring if you got a Proton Pack. Let's see. I repainted it because the paint jobs originally suck on these. They're just a bluish kind of plastic. I colored these in because it's also just like a plastic and it was a little bluish. Now it's red. I just used a Sharpie. Came out well. Added the red line here and colored in the vents. A little faux welding here. on the handle here, right there, and over here. I added this piece because I see it in the film. I'm thinking it's a power button, but I've got no confirmation on that, but I know it's in the film, so I wanted to add it on there. This blue wire I added in from bottom to the top here, which was originally this wire here. Once I took it out and put the green wire in its place, I had to do something with it and it was missing out, so hey, why not? I added a second on the screw on the shock absorber here and on the other side as well, because that's how it is in the movie. This is a green wire originally. As you may not be able to tell because I think it caught a little bit of paint when I was painting, because I was always going to put split one. See, yeah, you can tell it was green. I was always going to put split one over that. Connected it like that because that is how that's done in the films from what I've seen. This came with a, like, I don't know, 16 to 20 pin wire or something like that. I got a 60 pin wire off of I want to say eBay or Etsy, one of those two. P-clamp that's insulated. Added this screw here, added an ion rod, and I actually just put that right where the screw hole was, a little hot glue, made it look like it was welded. You know, maybe I had to repair it or whatever. This was originally blue wire. I just took some yellow electric tape, wrapped it around, came out looking good. This originally had a sticker, but when I taped off to paint the proton pack, I taped off there, and when I pulled the tape off, it ripped the sticker right off, so I just colored it in with some Sharpies. Made the crank knob gray because that's what it's supposed to be. Let's see what else I do. Filled in the speaker hole. It's not quite as loud now, but you can still hear it just fine, and it looks a lot better. Got the V-hook from Buster's Props, very affordable, $20, and so much better than the peg and hole that used to be there. If you got one of these and you just want to get something cheap that's really easy to install, I highly suggest going to them. Took an S-hook here and a screw and a washer and hooked all that up so you can hook it onto your pants or whatever. This here, I made a little knob here because in the film there is a knob there. And it twists, but you know, it really doesn't do anything. Same with this. Originally it was just the small gray piece here, and I was like, no, I want something that's a little bit better. I can give a little twist if I want to. All these little details are painted right now, but eventually I am going to get a sticker pack with metallic stickers and all that and fix things up. I'm not completely done with this. I added in 2 toggle switches on this side. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit one in over here where there should be one, but I wanted to at least have these 2 over here. This one day I'm going to hook up to a new light kit. I think you can get them from Ghostbusters fans, and that way I can get the lights stacking over here and going up and down, and the cyclotron lights moving around in sequence like they should. Right now that does nothing except for just moves. But this one, well, originally this intensify button was right where this light is, and it was a real pain in the ass to fucking hit, so I moved over here. It took me a while, but I got it over here, and I'm much happier with it being over here. So what I did is I put a light in there, drilled these out, put another light inside there, and hooked them all to this in a battery pack. So when I hit this, that lights up, that lights up. I mean, I don't have it where when I turn on other things this blinks, because yeah, I just don't have that amount of skill. But you know, not too bad for what it is. So if we hit that, I moved the light that was here over here. because it was behind the screw and it made no sense. Also added another light up to the front here because there's supposed to be one there. Added the red wire here and colored this because this was originally silver or black, but it needed to be silver. This here actually was just a little glitter container that I got from the dollar store, and it just slides right over there. I used a Dremel in order to drill out the hole, so it looks pretty good. Look here, I painted these so they look more like brass instead of just the generic silver they were, since they're supposed to look like brass. I don't know what that is hanging off there, but that's okay, we got that. I believe that covers everything for now, but really happy with how this has been coming out. Got a little bit more work to do, but I think eventually when I get it done, it's gonna be awesome. Thank you. Feel free to comment if you got any tips, or you can send me any links for wiring, stuff like that, or anything really, and let me know down in the comments. Thank you and have a great day.